to make healthy veggie rolls. It's a great alternative to the normal sausage rolls. We're going to first start out by sauteing our veggies. I'm using some olive oil. It's about 2 tablespoons. And I've got 1 onion, and it's diced nice and small. We've got 1 carrot, so the amount will depend on the size of your carrot. So we're going to just saute them to just about done. And I also like to add a bit of water during the cooking time, because it helps that the temperature stays at a cooler level of the oil, and it helps to actually steam the veggies. You don't want too much, because you don't want your veggie roll, the stuffing, to be too moist. When it's just about done, we'll add our mashed green peas. These were frozen green peas, and I just defrosted them and then mashed them. You can put them in the blender, or you can just mash them with a masher or a fork. So we're just going to cook it with the rest of the ingredients for just about 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, the veggies are just nice, just about done, and that's what we want. We don't want to overcook them. The next thing we're going to add is actually the main ingredient here, which is nutmeat. And some hint, it can be a bit tricky to get it out of the can. So best is to use a can opener and do both ends, and then put a knife around and then push it out. Put that heat off. I've already put this in the food processor, our nutmeat. And I do want to warn, for those who do have a peanut allergy, nutmeat does have peanuts in it. Next, we're going to add, it's 1 medium sized potato that's been cooked, and I've mashed it. And we're going to add our seasoning. I've got a teaspoon of Himalayan salt, and it's about half a teaspoon of garlic powder and half a teaspoon of onion powder. Next, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of what is tomato sauce. And lastly, but not least, I've got about half a cup of vegan cheese, and I've chosen to use Zenzo. Okay, we're now going to just mix it well together. Make sure all those flavors and seasoning and veggies are mixed up well. I see some is not quite done, so if it hasn't been completely grated or blended up, you can just mash it. Mash it while you're mixing everything together. You have to do a good job, because otherwise you're going to have certain flavors only sitting on the one side of your sausage or one side of your veggie roll. Looks like we got it nicely all mixed together, and you can see it's sticking quite nicely together, and that's what we want. Then next, we're going to bring out our pastry. I'm using the vegetarian flaky pastry. Just scoop some, not too much all at once. Just spread it out. I actually tell people it's a bit like looks like a well-stuffed snake, you know, after it's eaten something, it's all nice and fat and stuffed. And that's what this is going to look like. You want to try and get it right to the ends, so that the person who gets the last bit isn't skimped with filling. So just make sure you get it right on the ends. And of course, I'm just doing it this size of the filling, but if you want a bigger veggie roll, you can just put more of the filling. First, we're going to get our water, and we're going to dip our finger in and just do a line down the side. That's why I've left this gap. Can you see nicely? Just left that. That's enough. We got there. Then we're going to fold it, take it and fold it over. You can feel it. You can feel it. It's all nice there, thick. Okay, and then we'll just have a look where it is and then we'll cut it. Okay, and you take that and don't just throw it away. You can use that little bit for making another one, just a smaller one. Then we'll take that side of the plastic off and we're going to do the folding process. You can do with your finger, you can make amazing nice little patterns. So we're going to fold it over and this is going to join it nicely so it doesn't fall apart. Okay, so you've got a nice little edging there. So before we put that in the oven, we are going to just also brush it with some, I'm using soya milk, and that's going to just give it a nice brown finish. Okay, and then we're going to cut it. Now you can cut it into the size you would like. I normally try to cut it this size. It's very nice for if you have it at a party. Nice little bite-sized ones. I have greased my pan here and then you just take it carefully and you just place it. Allow a little gap in between them so that the heat can get to them evenly. Okay, so we're going to put this in a nice hot oven, about 180 to 190 degrees with the fan on. And we'll bake it for about 15 minutes. Here are our finished veggie rolls. They're great in lunch boxes with hummus, carrot, celery and cucumber sticks. And also for a quick, healthy party food. Great with the kids. And the other nice thing about them, you can freeze them and then you can just defrost and heat them again and they're nice and fresh like new.